This is a very special occasion and a very pious day when the whole world in general and Buddhist world in specific, in particular, celebrate the Buddha Jayanti or Buddha Poornima or Vesak day. And we call this day with different names at different places. This marks the three very most important events of the Buddha's life: his birth, his enlightenment at the age of 35 years, and his Mahaparinirvan, that is demise, at the age of 80. Buddha means an enlightened person. An enlightened person who realizes the truth of life. A person who is fully awakened, and awakened not only theoretically, awakened from the core of its heart. The Buddha was a Bharatiya. He was born at a place called Lumbini in 624 BCE and left this earth in 544 BCE. This is the latest calculation of his lifespan and dates. Although there is a controversy and there are some other opinions as well, but this 624 BCE as the year of his birth and 544 BCE as the year of his Mahaparinirvan or death have been recognized not only in Theravada Buddhist countries, but they have been recognized by UNESCO as well. Keeping aside the difference of opinions about his dates, let us ponder over the main events of the Buddha's life. He was born as a prince, and all the worldly pleasures were available to him, as he was, of course, a prince and a son of a king. His parents always tried to keep him away from the miseries of life, but it is not possible, and despite all restrictions and keeping away everything of sorrow from him, he pondered over the question of misery, question of suffering. Why people have to suffer? Why a person feels uneasy? And there came a time when at the age of 29 he left his household life, leaving behind his dear wife, dear son, parents, and all relatives, nears and dear ones. He contacted various teachers and rishis of his days like Alar Kalam, Rudra Kalamputra and others, and at the age of 35 he got enlightenment at what we call today Bodh Gaya. That enlightenment made him enlightened one, Samyak Sambuddha. According to him, the four realities, which he calls four noble truths, are suffering, because we feel uneasy, we feel uncomfortable, we feel adverse in various situations. There are various types of manifestations of suffering. There is the suffering does not come to us all of a sudden, but there are some regions behind it. And he found that various types of desires or cravings are the real cause of suffering. He also realized that these regions or these causes can be removed, and he found out a way, that there is a practical way to remove, to destroy all these suffering. And um, as there are 8 steps in his way, in his path, his path is called Aryo Athangiko Babbu, or Eightfold Noble Path. His path is called Noble Eightfold Path, as it has 8 steps. Without naming them, I'm just moving ahead. He clearly said that this is not a theoretical path, this is not a academic discussion, rather a practical way, a practical path by following which one can purify, one can restrain oneself from committing wrong, and advancing on the right path, restricting his physical misbehavior, purifying his physical and vocal deeds, concentrating his mind, and ultimately attaining the stage which is full of uh, or which is totally free of suffering. And this is complete freedom from suffering is called Nibbana. In Sanskrit we call it Nirvana. So after that, he when he trained 60 disciples and all of them became arhatas, he dispatched them to different directions, instructing them to go separately in different directions and devote their life for the cause of benefiting more and more people. Charatha bhikkhavi charikang bahujan hitaya bahujan sukhaya lokanukampaya athaya hitaya sukhaya dev manusana. He himself proceeded to Bodh Gaya, and converted uh, Jatil brothers, and later on uh, many and many new people came into contact with him, and his message, because it was full of practicability, it has spread. It was quite logical, convincing, and the people got attracted towards his teachings, and Buddhism got very popular in different regions of Bharat. After his demise, Ashoka took up the task, and for the first time, message of the Buddha went beyond the boundaries of Bharat. And today we find the whole south of Southeast Asia, including Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Cambodia, Thailand, Vietnam, Laos, Malaysia, Indonesia, Japan, China, Tibet, Mongolia, Korea, etc., etc., and even in the Middle or Central Asia. So all these countries, the people living there, they got attracted towards Buddhism, the humanistic message of the Buddha. The Buddha always emphasized that don't get convinced, don't follow my words blindly. You listen to them, you think over them, ponder over them, and if you feel that you are satisfied, it is convincing, then only you follow them. That also gave a very high boost to his message, and that way the Buddha's words became quite popular. And today we find a major part of Asia And not only Asia, Europe, America, both North and South, Australia, and many countries in Africa, they are, even without formally converting to Buddhism, they are getting influenced or impressed by the Buddha's humanistic words. The Buddha always emphasizes that one should realize that we are also made of blood and flesh, and as I am made of it, as my life is dear to me, so life is dear to others also. In Dhammapad he says, "Sabbe tasanti dandassa, sabbe bhayanti machunu, attanang upamankatva, na hanijana baghatai. Sabbe tasanti dandassa, sabbe sanjeevitang piyang, attanang upamankatva, na hanijana ghatai." Everybody is afraid of punishment. Everybody is afraid of death. And as death or as life is dear to me, so is dear to others also. So thinking that one should not try to harm anybody, to kill anybody. This is the message of life given by the Buddha. In our tradition, our Bharatiya tradition always believes and propagates Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The whole world is just like our family. Today, the whole world is in the grip of Corona. Nobody can claim to be 100% safe. All superpowers, America, major part of uh, Europe, Russia, many countries in other continents, they are in grip of Corona. In this critical time when the whole humanity is suffering from in an unknown and very dangerous disease, let us try to create and develop the feeling of friendliness, loving kindness towards everybody. And let us feel that we are one. We are not concerned only for ourselves. We have to think for others. So far as our country is concerned, we are witnessing every day, we are watching TV and news, and we feel very sad when new people are coming in the grip of or getting affected by this um, disease. Our uh, security people, our doctors, other personnels engaged in serving the affected people are dedicated to the cause of humanity. We salute them, and the Buddha says that let us be friendly, let us be kind, let us be compassionate. I believe that if we continue and we foster these feelings, we shall be able to understand the Buddha's teachings of humanity and compassion. And I think this will be the right way to express our gratitude to that great personality who lived on this earth for more than 26 years, 100 years ago. Thank you. Namo Buddhaya. Sabbe Satta Bhavantu Subhitatta.